Welcome. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about a challenge for you. It's about creating a simple user and password protected program using the power of if statements. Of course, this program will not be a military level secure program. It's a simple program just for demonstrating the usage of the if statements, okay? Let me show you how it's going to work. First of all, the user will pass username and password into the program. And the program will look into os.args string slice. Then it will use an if statement to check whether the user has provided a username and a password or not. If not so, then the program will display the usage information and will quit. Then it will check the provided username with the correct username. If they don't match, it will display an error message and will quit again. If all is okay, then it will check the provided password with the correct password. Again, if they don't match, it will display another error message and will quit. And lastly, when the username and the password are correct, then it will print an access granted message. For now, there should be only one user who can access to this program, okay? It isn't gonna support multiple users yet. Alright, that's all. Okay, let me show you how it works in the coding editor. I'm gonna show its output to you right now. Okay, so you can better understand how it works, so you can program it however you want. Okay, when I run it without any arguments, it should display an error message like this one. Usage, username, password. It asks for username and the password. That's because I didn't give it a username and a password. Okay, let's say that we have a user named Jack and its password is 1888. Okay. So when I run it with an incorrect user like this, then it should print an access denied error message like this one. Or when I run it with a correct user but with an incorrect password like this, then it should print this invalid password for Jack. Now let's run it with the correct username and password. Okay, as you can see, now it grants access to the Jack. Alright, that's all. This is your challenge. In the next lecture, I'm gonna show you how to build this program. But before that, please try to do this on your own. Alright, good luck. See you. Welcome. Hope you've solved the challenge. If you didn't, please do so. Or after this course, you won't remember anything about Go. You can only learn it if you work on it. Alright, now let's take a look at the solution. First thing I need to do is to get the username and the password from the command line. Normally you shouldn't get this from the command line. The operating systems can record this kind of information, but for now it's okay. Okay, let's first store the os.args string slice into a variable because I'm gonna use it a lot. Like I said, this program expects a username and a password, so there should be 3 arguments, right? Remember that the first argument is the path to the running program. So I'm gonna check whether there are 3 arguments or not like this. If len args not equal to 3. Okay, so if there are less than 3 arguments, let's display a usage message like this one. I'm gonna call println. Then I'm gonna type usage, username, and password. Okay. And let's just return from the main function directly. This will terminate the program. It's because the program ends when the main function returns. It is the only function that executes the program. That's the reason of that. Okay, let's try it now. I'm gonna type go run main.go. Okay, as you can see, the program prints the usage information because I didn't provide any input to it. Let's pass it a user and a password now like this. Go run main.go, Richard Piper. Okay, now it doesn't say anything. Cool. This is cool because since there are 3 arguments inside the os.args slice, so the if statements block isn't executed. Alright, let's continue. Now let's save the username into this u variable. So it's the second element. That's why I'm gonna get it from the first element. Now I'm gonna check for a single user, Jack. Okay, let's first check whether the user is Jack or not like this. If u not equal to Jack. Okay. And if the user is not Jack, then display an error message like this. I'm going to use printf for that. Let's first type access denied for %q. This will wrap the string inside double quotes and new line. Okay, then I'm going to pass the u variable to display the username again. Okay, now let's run the program again. It says that the user Richard isn't allowed to pass. Good, let's pass Jack instead. Now it doesn't say anything. It's because the program has recognized the Jack user. Okay, let's continue. Now let's save the password into the p variable. Okay, as you can see, this is a short declaration. args1 here is the username and args2 here is the password. So u stores the past username and p stores the past password. Okay, now let's check whether the password is equal to 1888 or not, just using a not equal operator like this. Else if p not equal to 1888. Okay, this else if branch will only run if this first condition is false, right? So this else if will run if the user is correct. But if the password isn't correct, then let's display an error message again like this. Invalid password for the user, new line. Then I'm gonna pass the user. Okay. Alright, let me try it now. Check pipe again. It prints this was a wrong password for the user Jack. Cool. Normally, this is a security flaw to tell about this, because you shouldn't tell that there is a user with the said name or not. So please don't try this at home, okay? Now let's try it with the correct password like this, Jack1888. The program becomes silent again. It's because it has accepted the password. Now let's add an else branch to this if statement to tell that access is granted like this. Else printf access granted to q, okay, and the user. Right. So the program first checks whether the username is equal to Jack, and if not, then it runs the first if statement. So if it equals to Jack, then it checks the else if branch. So if the password isn't equal to 1888, it runs the else if branch. And lastly, if the password equals to 1888, then it means that both the user and the password are correct, and it runs the else branch. This is simply how it works. Okay, so let's run the program again. Well done, access is granted. Cool, I'm in. What do you think? Can we improve this program further? Maybe. So let's try refactoring this program a little bit by using constants now. I know that these error messages won't change, so it's better to put them into constants. Let's first copy the usage message from here, like this. Okay, and let's type here usage instead. Then let's create a constant like this, const usage. Let's paste it here. Okay. Okay, now do the same thing for the access denied message. I'm gonna cut it from here. I'm gonna change it to our user. Then I'm gonna declare a new constant named our user. I'm gonna pass the value here. Okay. Alright, now do the same thing for the incorrect password message. I'm gonna just get it from here. rpwd. Okay. Let's declare a new constant. Paste it here. Alright. And now, let's change the access granted message with a constant again, like this. Okay, let's cut it from here. And let's change it to access OK. And let's declare access OK. Let's paste it here. Okay, good. And lastly, let's refactor the user and password into constants, okay? User and Jack, password. Okay, let me run it now. Alright, it displays the usage. Cool. Let's give it an incorrect user. For example, my name 1234. It works, right? Now let's give it a correct user but an incorrect password. Jack1234. Alright, good. It works. Now let's pass the correct username and password. 1888. Cool, everything works. Alright, that's all for now. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back. As an exercise, try to add one more user to the PassMe program. Ensure that the new user has a new password as well. So the program should work with two users, Jack and your new user. So when you call it like this, it should grant the access, okay? Or when you call it like this, you should do so again. As always, you can find out the code for this exercise in the course repository. Let me show you what it looks like. The first user's username is Jack, and its password is 1888 as before, okay? And the second user's username is Inanç, and its password is 1879, okay? Okay, I can access to the program using the first username and password, like this. Jack1888, access granted, okay. Or with the second user's username and password, like this, Inanç1879. Okay. Now let's take a look at the edge cases. For example, I'm gonna run the program with the first username, but this time I'm gonna use the second user's password instead. I'm gonna delete this 1888. I'm gonna type 1879. Okay, it should display this message. Okay. And lastly, I'm gonna try the second username, but with the first user's password this time. Okay, 1888. Okay, your program should display this message. Alright, that's all. I know you can do it. Good luck. Bye for now.